Finally, a true Jacob's Ladder scenario. We saw Passion Play, so you know what that means.
Now it's time for How Did This Get Made? We're gonna have a good time, celebrate some failure, not just be a hater. Cause you know you wonder, how did this get made? Let's wallow in the mediocrity of subpar art. Perhaps we'll find the answer to the question, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? The movie is Passion Play. The year is 2011. The tagline, between heaven and hell, there is fear. And what is it about? Well, Mickey Rourke is a former junkie with a hit on him, and after he escapes death, in quotes, he finds a winged woman, that's Megan Fox, and offers to sell her to a gangster played by Bill Murray to take the price off his head, but that is before he falls in love with her. Woof. All right, hey, let me introduce to you my co-hosts, Jason Mantzoukas and June Diane Rayfield. How are you both?
Worse than I was before I started this movie at 9:30 this morning.
Oof. I started it at midnight last night, and it went down smooth until 1:45.
You know what's so interesting? Like, we have a lot to talk about, obviously, and I don't want to jump to the end. But
oh, please jump to the end.
Okay, fine. So this movie was worth it. It was all worth it for that one shot of Megan Fox holding Mickey Rourke like a baby. Like a child, and flying through the air with him.
Yes.
Honestly, I was like, oh, great. Like everything is
the scenes where Megan Fox wants to fly and she's on a roof or she's on a cliff and it's so CGI'd out. It's like The Room, Tommy Wiseau level CGI where
that's what you when you said it came out in 2011, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Only because this movie looks like it was shot in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, I mean, it definitely was shot with, this is, to me, like dad fanfic. It's like, like a dad who's like, I love mystery novels and I love noir and I want to write, I could write a movie. Like, it feels like. But
it's that dad if he also was given access to like 3 Wim Wenders movies. Like he also thinks like, and kind of, enigmatic editing and like music montage moments. Like there's a weird European cinema element to this that is unsuccessful.
Yeah. Well, okay. So just to start with the title,
Passion Play.
Now, is this a passion play?
Well, I was gonna Google it before we started, and because a passion play is normally related to like religion, right? It's like that,
correct.
like a dramatic representation leading up to and including the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Now, where this movie falls apart is he dies and he's dead.
Ooh, I don't know, because he's flying through the air with an angel.
But I think he's dead, though, right? I mean, I guess like
yes, no, I agree with you. I agree with you that this is a Jacob's Ladder scenario. When he's flying with the angel, he sees his own dead body in the desert where we left him at the beginning of the movie, where he gets taken at the beginning of the.
No.
Oh wait,
June.
Oh, no.
Wait.
June, I'm gonna mute. I'm just gonna mute while June talks.
So, I didn't have my glasses on, so I'll start there. But I thought when he was flying over the desert that we were looking at the body of that henchman.
Oh.
Okay, that makes sense.
But
no. It wasn't. It was his
you could
body.
tell by all the chains
fact,
and leather jackets and hats.
Yes.
I couldn't see those details.
But did you not notice the 3-piece suit over a tank top?
I just saw a body and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
He's flying by and I did think to myself, oh, I guess we're just seeing some of the sights we saw earlier.
Well, we are.
But
it wasn't the henchman. It was his own body.
So this is a Jacob's Ladder scenario.
And
It's Jacob's Ladder
there's
scenario.
no doubt in my mind. Now, here's something that I will just bring up. That scene that you talk about, because we are starting at the end, when she's flying away with Mickey Rourke, who seems to be like, even from bird standards, be too heavy. It would be too much for Megan Fox's body to be.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you guys a question about that specifically, because She has, Megan Fox has wings in this. We find her initially in a carnival setting, in a sideshow kind of setting. And people pay money to see the woman with angel wings. But then they keep clarifying that they're bird wings.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Why keep doing that? Doesn't the movie work if she is an angel trying to pull Mickey Rourke out of hell or whatever? Is that what this is? Obviously, I think that's what it is saying. But then why keep perpetuating the narrative that she's a bird woman?
Great question.
Well, I would also argue that I've seen movies like Michael, the John Travolta film, where he is an angel and he also sprouts wings, or he has a broken wing or whatever. And those angel wings are very white and, it's very, pristine. She definitely has bird wings. Like the coloring is of a bird.
So just to be clear, you are team bird woman.
Here's what I'm going to say. I am team it should be an angel, but someone made the choice that we're really leaning into bird when
the digital asset we have for wings is darker colored.
So I think there was a lot going on. Because first of all, to go back to Paul's point about Mickey Rourke being way too heavy, because he's a dense man.
Dense.
Dense head, dense hair, dense body. He's dense in every way. So her wings, in order to fly holding him, they had to be at least double the size that they were. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Just the width of them, the scope of them. So
even her arm strength, June.
Absolutely. But
he's also, and physicist can comment, he's also falling.
Yes.
So she's fighting not just his own weight to lift him, but to lift him against the gravitational pull.
But I think what happened, or because I thought a lot about the wings, Jason, and the bird wings and why they looked like bird feathers. Also why at points they seem to be able to remove them. But put that over there for a second.
Well, they kind of like fold back up, but we never see them fold back up because they clearly didn't have the budget.
Well, that's the thing. I think they were like, if they are real angel wings, because angel wings should be the size of her whole body.
Sure.
They should go down to the ground and they should be white and she should have a big wingspan. But I think they were got lost in the sauce with like, oh, we need to be able to put them under a coat or a dress if they're always here.
But June, that would mean that they're very small. Like they're in between. Again, they are in between being very big and also not very small. Like they're not like tiny.
I think what they were working against was the desire to have her wear almost nothing at all times, while simultaneously letting us still believe she has full-size wings attached to her back. And so I think they can't really they can't really reconcile those two things. They want her to be next to naked all the time, but they also want her wings to be able to be hidden by her tiny dress, which it can't be.
Well, but that shot, I thought she actually took off her wings when she went, when they just were folding into
I feel like she
themselves.
was just expressing the pain of these dang wings.
When I do appreciate that when she goes to sleep, she has to sleep on her stomach.
But here's the interesting thing, though, because she does. There's a lot of discussion when we first meet her about her lower back pain, about just what it is to be a woman with wings, and it's sort of.
It's a metaphor for big boobs, right?
Right.
Sure, but it's like
she could get a wing reduction.
It seems like she did get a wing reduction.
She did get a consult.
But it almost seems like she's a creature that was not supposed to have these wings, as opposed to a species, an angel, someone who there have been creatures like her that came before her, that this is something she procreated from. It seems like Megan Fox, her character, someone put these wings on her human body and she's got to deal with them.
Okay, who?
I don't know.
That guy who found her is very possessive. Reese
Fonz.
That's Reese Fonz. Okay.
The roommate from Notting Hill.
Always great to see
Incredible
him.
actor.
Always great. Always great.
By the way, cast in this movie, 100%, like everyone's hitting it out of the park. I love this cast.
Amazing.
This cast is everybody is a home run hitter. It's like Rory Cochrane is the person who buys his trumpet from him in the diner. Like I was like, what's going on?
And here's what I'll say too. I have no issue with the acting. This director and writer, Mitch Glazer, has been wanting to make this movie for a very long time. He's married to Kelly Lynch. This was his love story. This is how he felt that he fell in love with Kelly Lynch. When he originally wrote it, they were like, make it more like Splash. He's like, how dare you? That's not what I wanted to do. It was about the 50s. And he held on to it. And then when Mickey Rourke was in trouble, he was like, I want to bring him back, and I want to bring him back in a way where he's not a thug. I want to bring him back to the Pope of Greenwich Village, like this guy from Diner. So this is a passion project for the director. But I will say that's what it also feels like. It feels like there was very little deviation from anything, and there's a lot of stuff that makes no sense.
It feels like there's a lot of like creative editing to make sense of this, because there's also quite a lot of like continuity problems.
Huge.
Like they go into a building at night and come out in the day. There's a lot of day for night stuff. There's a lot of like
he goes to bed shirtless, wakes up in a full long johns.
Yes. Full long johns.
Yeah.
He's nude when he goes to bed. It's lumpy. The movie is lumpy, but it's like really interesting. I was fascinated to watch it. But what is interesting now to really think about, because I just finished it before we got on, is none of this is real, right? Like all of the movie, Megan Fox entirely having wings, the winged woman, the angel, all this stuff are the creation of Mickey Rourke's character in his own head while he dies in the desert, right? So
I'm just learning this now, so I'm really having to kind of reroute over here.
And that makes sense as to why the movie is so bad, is because he's just not smart enough, that character.
Well, and this is the thing. Like, it's hard to critique a movie that is the vision of an idiot,
of a character. It's hard to criticize a movie when it's the vision of one of its main characters,
who is an idiot.
And also, where are they? Where are they?
I mean,
Are they in Las Vegas? Are they in Albuquerque?
He finds her in the desert at a carnival, and he says, your English is so good.
Okay.
And she says she learned from watching TV.
So she is in, I believe they are in Mexico there.
Where? And what? We're meant to believe that she is a native Spanish speaker?
Oh, she's Mexicana. Yes.
Well, let's go back to why he might have an issue with it, is because when he dies, he is saved by, and again, we don't see the faces, but a handful of Native Americans who are
they Native Americans? I don't know.
All dressed in white.
I am so upset that we did not get any payoff of that whatsoever.
What's interesting is the movie offers you no answers to any questions.
No.
We don't, and now that we understand that it's a Jacob's Ladder scenario, that's why. Because there are no answers, because there is no story, because this whole thing is a dream. And so the logic of it and the editing and the kind of like weird way that it's kind of a tone poem or whatever is just the dream element of it. But boy, does it make for a frustrating watch when you're like, who are those guys? When's that guy coming back? What's on offer here?
I would love someone to count the number of lines Megan Fox has in this movie. I would say it's on
so few.
Yeah, you could count it on two hands.
So few, and many of them are the same line. Many of them are versions of the same sentiment.
And she's always, and I know it's...
As long as I'm with you, you can't
that's
hurt
the deal.
him.
The deal was that I'm with you, and so he not a finger on him. That's the deal. Okay.
I felt like all I know about Megan Fox's character is her character has some severe daddy issues. I feel like...
What? No.
Well, she was found in a garbage.
Yeah.
In a garbage...
That's what he says, that he found her in the garbage.
I just want to back up to the one thing that we know is real, which is where we meet Mickey Rourke in the beginning.
Okay.
Right? He definitely is in America, because that club has an American name. And it's like, I couldn't quite tell what this club was. Like, it's jazz, burlesque.
Well, it's interesting because it is a burlesque kind of, strip club kind of environment.
Right.
And Mickey Rourke and his, I'm going to say 6-piece jazz band are on stage, right?
Right.
Mickey Rourke is a trumpet player of note. He's famous enough that He has made albums, although we don't know.
Solo albums.
None of this is real.
No. This is real, right?
In his mind.
That part is real, Jason.
Oh, no. This is no. We don't. No, it's the part where they're playing in the strip club is real. The album is in Megan Fox's collection, so it's fake.
Oh, you're right, because the album, he's already dead.
So I mean, the movie. Who cares what's real and what's fake? The movie is so poor. It does such a poor job. Like if we rewatched it right now, it's not going to be like rewatching the Sixth Sense after you find out the reveal. You know,
I'm gonna believe that he released an album, but because he was addicted to heroin, his career went downhill.
Perhaps.
I'd also argue it's because he smokes and plays the horn at the same time. This guy, I don't look. And Jason, I think you're probably the most astute of us in this. Is that a thing? Are people smoking and playing a horned instrument at the same time?
Yep.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's a very like Miles Davis.
Okay.
That's a very like 40s jazz club vibe.
Okay.
The other thing is, what I loved is this is what I watched when I watched it. Started it last night, and I was like, oh, this is going to be wild. It's this big jazz band on a stage, and the dancer is dancing with like feather things, and it's a whole situation. But the music that's playing isn't the music of the jazz band.
Nope.
It's slow, plaintive piano and cello music. But the visual is this up-tempo jazz band playing. So I'm like, what the disconnect between those two things is immediately jarring.
It's so bizarre that he seemed like, and look, what is his crime? You know, he's a recovering junkie, but he sleeps with, and we don't know it's his character yet, but he sleeps with Happy's wife. Happy is Bill Murray. And so Bill Murray has put a hit out on him. And the way the movie starts is we're following this mook. This guy's going to kill him. And that's the way that we see it. But I also don't know enough about this world. Like, I'm not invested in anything before he gets killed at all.
It's so hard because we're on this journey with him. And by the way, alive or dead, we're on this journey with him.
We have to be.
And
we're locked in.
We can't help but to be. We have to do a podcast about it. And so we're on this journey, and I'm like, I hate this man.
Oh,
I hate him.
He smells. You know that he smells.
I hate who he is. I hate that he's peering at her through the window. I hate that he won't stop looking at her.
Oh, so much creeping.
I hate everything. I hate that he won't let her get those wings chopped off.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I do want to talk about when she goes to the plastic surgeon to get those wings chopped off. It seems like they're doing it like he's like, oh, yeah, I'll do surgery today. You came in for a consultation. I'll knock these off right away. And when he runs into that room, I saw it and I started laughing so hard, which is there's just a computer printout on white paper that says operating room. Like it's just taped to the door.
I also loved that he comes in and the doctor is in the consult with Megan Fox's character, Lily
Luster.
Lily Luster. And he's holding up one of her wings and looking at it so quizzically, but you have to understand, like the actor is just holding nothing. So it's such a funny disconnect.
And when he goes, really hey, you ever say a word about
He's
this?
Threatening him.
I'm gonna find out where you live and burn down your house. It's like this woman is performing all around the country in a carnival.
Yeah.
Like she's known. It's not like she's a secret. Like
that's the thing I hate about him the most. Like, why take her out? She was living, I think, the best version of her life as a carny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think things did not get better from there. I think she was living in a tiny hotel room with him, and it was disgusting. And he barely had $2 to rub together. Then she goes to live with Bill Murray.
And by the way, that hotel room was so low class, but so high class. Like the owner of the motel is like, okay, so here's a twin bed and here's an open door. I was like, I've never been escorted into a room at a motel and shown around.
Well, the guy also knew his name. The guy also knew Mickey Rourke's name. So I'm like, is this where Mickey Rourke lives?
I was like, I wanted her to stay in that awesome Airstream and just live out her life doing a couple hours a night behind the glass.
And she wasn't nude, right? Like she wasn't like a stripper, but she was just like
an oddity. She was just something to be seen, a sideshow.
Yeah, I think she was just like, the bearded woman
Yeah.
or any
Right.
of the other kind of sideshow performers that were
The funniest
featured.
thing, though, is like, yes, she's in very little for much of the movie, but when he first gets her out of there and she leaves the trailer and, saves him, the first time she saves him and they drive away, she's wearing such like corporate casual outfits. Like she is dressed as like a corporate junior executive very smartly.
Yeah.
I would love it if that's where this went. She just immediately gets a job in middle management in like an office park.
And she's like, okay, I can reverse her mortgage. Hold on 1 second. Her wing just pops up. And shit. Like, I mean,
Well, we don't know where are we? Are we in New Mexico or where are we? Arizona.
I wrote 30 minutes in and it genuinely feels like the movie hasn't started.
No, the movie feels like it never really goes to many places because his immediate thought is, I am enamored with this woman. I need to meet her. I need to follow her. And you feel like he's in love with her. And then the next scene, he's like, let me sell her. Let me sell her to this gangster for $1 million.
Yeah.
And
I loved that scene though. The scene where Mickey Rourke and Megan Fox are off sitting on the top of the car or whatever. And then there's the music venue and Bill Murray and his right-hand man sit in the empty seats of a giant music venue watching Solomon Burke, a legitimate legend, watching Solomon Burke do a sound check, which is easily the best part of the movie. And then the doors to the back of the venue open completely, and we get a perfect view of Megan Fox, like a mile away, who just says to Mickey Rourke, "Do you want to see my wings?"
Well, the best part too is before that, a woman came up. She was a young lady, dressed in corporate casual. Also looks like she is a manager, of a small team. In corporate America, and gives them a note, and then it was just so bizarre, and she says she did it for $20. I'm like,
that
honey,
character definitely was
get a paycheck every 2 weeks. It's probably direct deposit.
Yeah, you can complain. You can complain about this on Slack.
I will say also, there's no such thing really as a bad Bill Murray performance,
No,
and I
there
actually
isn't.
love how oddly restrained he is. Like, it reminds me a little bit of like Mad Dog and Glory, a movie that I really enjoyed from back in the day. It's like, but like he's playing this gangster, this tough guy, but he's really low key, but then has these moments where he does like, get the fuck out of here. Like that, he pushes her out of the way. And I don't know. I love him in this. I'll tell you this. He was a replacement because one actor started shooting the movie for 3 days.
Oh.
And the director said, yeah, he just was too nervous to be acting with Mickey Rourke. So he's like, I can't handle this anymore. I got to leave. And then Bill Murray called up the director, Mitch, the director and writer, on Christmas Day. And Mitch is like, hey, man, can you help me out? And Bill Murray read the script on Christmas Day and said, I'm in. And Bill Murray just stepped in to be happy.
That's so weird because he's such a, especially in this era is when Bill Murray still has that kind of mystique.
Yes.
It's impossible to reach him. He's so picky and choosy. He only does the things he wants to do and they're really high value for him or whatever. So the fact that he's in this, I'm just like, this is a head scratcher. I understand what Mickey Rourke is doing here. Wait, is this before or after The Wrestler?
After.
It's after.
Yes.
After The Wrestler. Wow.
Yes, because he felt that Mickey Rourke was being put into too many roles where he was just like a meathead, a lunkhead, a bruiser.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. This guy wrote as one of the writers of Scrooged. So I think Bill Murray has a relationship with them.
Okay.
And their friendship. So that's what I think it
that
was.
makes yeah. Okay.
Like I just want to see more Happy.
I love Happy.
I mean, even when Happy is sitting watching her like put on makeup or like and tells that monologue about why he's happy because he was so sad as a kid, I'm like, I'm into this, whatever this is.
He can't hit a wrong note. Every choice he makes is
It's
interesting.
great. Yeah. when he takes Megan Fox away from Mickey Rourke and is like, okay, she's gonna come with me and you get out of here, I genuinely was like, I hope we follow Bill Murray and Megan Fox. And when Mickey Rourke breaks into the house and finds them like watching old black and white movies in the projection room, I was like, let's let her stay here.
And she seems quite comfortable there.
They seem like they're having a nice time.
One of my favorite lines in this movie, aside from "Do you want to see my wings," was right before that. She fucking slams Mickey Rourke, where she says to him, she's asking him about his career and what happened, and then she goes, "You were handsome. What happened? What happened?"
Yeah.
I laughed so hard. I mean, I had some laughs.
My favorite dialogue moment is we have just watched the first 20, 30 minutes of the film, and then Mickey Rourke gets on the phone with Kelly Lynch, and she just describes the plot verbatim back to him. Wait a second. So you're telling me you went out to a desert, you got shot, you got saved by some Native Americans, and then you went to a carnival, you met a girl, and then you got in a truck and you drove to this place. I was like, whoa, why are we doing this? We just saw it.
I loved her character, though. I love that we met her tanning up there in that bathing suit that must have been terrible for tan lines, and winter boots
that came up mid-calf.
What an unbelievable
I was like, what a strange tan line that's going to be.
That tan line, and then also the bathing suit, which had just mesh cutouts. And the contraption she had built up there on that roof.
I like that contraption.
Me too.
My question was,
very Jack
did
McBrayer.
You think her laying out on the roof, did you say very Jack McBrayer? Her being out on the roof, this is a real question.
Okay.
Do you feel like that was somehow an homage to her in Roadhouse? Where they laid out on the roof in Roadhouse? This is not a real question, but I was like, I wonder if they're trying to do a thing here. One of the things that I loved was there's this moment where early when Mickey Rourke and Megan Fox escape the carnival, and they're out in the desert at a gas station or something. I can't remember what. But she's off to the side, and she's letting her wings out, and she's kind of catching a draft.
I know what you're
right? And it's this moment. It's all green screen, but she's kind of catching a draft and blah, blah, blah. And there's a little kid wandering around with a camera and taking pictures. And Mickey Rourke is like, hey, let me borrow that camera for a second. He takes a picture of Megan Fox, and then half an hour later, Mickey Rourke is in a dark room. He's in a physical dark room developing that one picture. So he either stole that
and smoking, by the way, around a lot of liquid chemicals.
Yes, he either stole that kid's camera or the film. I don't know which, but it is crazy that he's in a dark. How does he have access to a dark room?
And it's in 2011 where it's very easy to print a picture quickly. It's not,
Yeah, go to a CVS or a Rite Aid. I mean, the crazy thing is, I think he must have stolen the film.
I think he took the camera. He's not finding that kid.
Who knows? This fucking guy. This is why. Well, right after that, we have to watch a sex scene between the two of them. That was so fucking unacceptable.
Holy shit.
I want to get into the sex scene. I just want to say one thing about that photo. When he does take the photo of her, she goes, "If you like it, you'll delete it." It's like, what? Who is it? Where's this going? Yeah. This is not like she doesn't know the plan. She's like, just if I don't like it, I'm like. And meanwhile, it's like, she doesn't want people to see her, but yet she's in a carnival. But then she's also literally, there are 6-foot tall posters of her at the carnival. So it's like, what?
She just wanted photo approval.
What's happening? Okay, but yes, I just wanted to talk about, and then let's talk about the sex scene between a 23-year-old and a 57-year-old man.
This actually enraged me.
This was chilly.
I was like, I'm protesting. This is not okay.
Yeah.
No, this ain't okay.
And by the way, it's like I feel bad for her because I feel like everybody is like, I feel it's a bunch of older dudes who are just like, oh God, yeah, she's so hot. She's so hot. Like, it just feels like, and she's got to do all this kissing up on everybody. It's like,
It
oh,
was so unacceptable.
Oh, there's too much, and big open mouth kissing,
Whoa.
big enveloping hands and kisses. Ugh.
I know. It's like the only thing I wanted for, because I knew it was coming, and I was like, all I want to see is like her head sort of turned to the side, you know, a tight shot, and then his head kind of facing forward around her neck and just like humping her. That I could accept. Like, okay, you don't have to look at him, just lay there like a dead
I wanted
rat.
the wings to cover everything.
Yes.
I wanted the wings to be up and just see.
And a little
Yeah.
movement.
By the
fine.
way, that would have been awesome.
What
Yeah.
we had to witness, what we had to see.
Ugh.
And I'm sorry.
Ugh.
This literally made me want to leave. I'm sorry. I wanted to
sorry?
leave
You were-
the industry of film and television because I'm just like, show me an old, wrinkly, saggy woman who gets to be on screen fucking a hot 23-year-old man. Like, please. This is not acceptable.
I mean, I don't know why it grossed me out so much, but like they kind of show her plumage flying off because of the fucking, like, one feather just like flies off like Forrest Gump style. And it oddly
Oh, are you kidding? I fucked the feathers right off
and
of
it
her.
lands in the front stoop of the hotel. I'm like, what? Oh,
And the hotel owner finds
yeah,
it.
he's like, hey, good job.
And the
last
hotel,
night."
multiple people find single feathers and look at them like contemplatively, like, huh, what must this be? It's a bird feather, asshole. Keep walking.
What's his redemption? I mean, if this is like his redemption, right? Like, we know that Happy, Bill Murray, is a bad guy. Not only does, his wife cheats on him with Mickey Rourke and he has her
Poor
killed.
woman.
That's what we understand.
Poor woman.
We never meet her,
Yeah,
right?
never meet
No.
her. And so she's killed. And so the only thing that we know that's bad about Mickey Rourke is that he had an affair, which is not like, okay, I don't see like we need this redemption arc for him. Like, his redemption.
Well, don't forget about what happened with him and Annie Poole.
What happened with him and Annie Poole?
Oh, Paul. Annie Poole.
The story he tells her.
Oh, I forgot about the story.
Hey,
Oh,
Nate and
my
Annie
God.
Poole. That was the love of his life.
Oh,
I think this was like a post-coital scene between the two of them. And
oh.
he,
So you might have fast forwarded through it.
but
I was doing a lot of 10 seconds ahead and
Yeah.
he and
in
Annie
places.
Poole, Annie Poole was the love of his life. And she was totally clean, but she just wanted, and she was perfect. And he was deeply in love with her. But in order for her to spend time with him, she had to start getting high. And then that killed her.
Well, that, by the way, I'm glad that they revealed this ending that was a setup because when he meets that girl, the tattooed girl in the bar,
Loved her tattoos.
loved her tattoos.
Obsessed.
What a reveal. Great reveal.
Actually went and rewound that scene
That's
because
the
I was
best
like, wow,
part
this
of the
is
movie.
yeah.
I'm
Agreed.
sorry.
And she's like,
Agreed.
let's get you all warmed up. Let's get you warmed up. And she like shoots heroin into him.
I wish that had been at the beginning. I wish that scene had been at the beginning of the movie because then I would understand
Right.
where this, why and how this guy has fallen to
it's
this
also
level.
an interesting way to be like, oh, this all doesn't make sense because it's a hazy dream. I don't know if anyone can answer this, but I don't know that heroin is like a fuck drug, is it? Like, because she's like, oh, let's get you warmed up. Like, I would imagine you do heroin, you're not really in the mood to have sex.
Well, because it's better than having sex. Like people prefer
Okay.
it. So I
Yeah.
think I think he was just like he didn't want to do the heroin. He didn't really have a choice. He couldn't really say no.
Well, but she kept on saying, let's get you warmed up. Let's get you warmed up, as if it was like this is like the first step of a night
Oh,
of
I see what you're
yeah.
saying.
I think maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm doing work for the movie here, but there's a world in which it is not a sex scene. It is a heroin scene.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's not
Okay.
about them fucking. It's about almost sexualize the act that is being consummated is shooting up.
Can I just say one thing, Paul?
Yeah.
I couldn't understand why he's being presented to us, that the movie is presenting him as like this crazy ladies' man that every woman wants to fuck.
Yeah.
Until we saw the scene of him in the bar and watched him make that
Oh.
lemon move
Flirting
and turn into a little creature.
with the red napkin over it.
I first of all didn't.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, he's gonna make the lemon
That's the
disappear.
craziest thing I've ever seen.
I'm like, and like, what is happening here? Like, I don't.
Well, I guess we'll find out later that she was duping him, but she did seem into it. Now, do you think that was written in the script, or was that all day long?
That is a Mickey Rourke special because he is getting drunk at a bar, and normally you're in front of peanuts. He's in front of a bunch of lemons, as if he's making his own shots and cutting his own juice
garnishes.
for because he's like, oh, I know how to impress a girl. Like I feel like this is a lot of Mickey Rourke's own moves.
For those of you listening who haven't seen the movie, he takes a lemon, he puts it on the bar, and then he takes a red napkin, unfolds it so it's kind of a very big square. He puts the napkin over the lemon, sort of puts his hand underneath behind, and then rolls the lemon so it sort of looks like a little creature moving across the bar.
And that alone wins him the hand of the beautiful tattooed woman. Like, she is so charmed by this.
I just want to say one more thing, June. The way that you described it there is 10 times more impressive than what it looks like on film. It looks as if, like,
Yes.
He's like, oh, can we do it again? Because I didn't get it. I didn't get that. I didn't get what I wanted.
Well, he doesn't get it in the take they used. He messes up and then has to restart. That's the best footage they had of this parlor trick.
And I feel like they did that. The director was like, hey, let's do one more, but let's maybe not do the napkin thing. And he was like, no, you got it. Let's move on.
Well, this is, by the way, this is the way that I feel like this movie was run a little bit. This director and writer felt like he really wanted to give Mickey Rourke like this amazing role. Mickey Rourke has come out and said so much negative stuff about this movie.
Wow.
That is hilarious. But this is the one thing where it feels like he just bullied his way through most scenes because this is a story that both men agree to. That Mickey kept on saying, Kelly should be a stripper in the movie. And the director's like, no, she's just a bar. This is his wife, by the way. He's like, no, she's just a bar. The director's wife.
The
He's like, no,
director's
she's
wife.
just a bartender. And Mickey's like, yeah, but like a bartender stripper. And he's like, no, just a bartender. And then he's like, she should take her clothes off in the movie. And the director's like, all right, yeah, we'll let her take her clothes off in the movie.
We'll let her.
Like, it was like he just bullied this director to make his wife scantily clad. She's not naked, but scantily clad.
I know I've told this story before, but I feel like it makes sense in this context. Like, I heard Aronofsky interviewed about the wrestler who was saying so much of his job every day was to somehow intercede with Mickey Rourke's like attempts to constantly have sunglasses or eyeglasses on his head, sunglasses specifically, so that Aronofsky would have them check Rourke's wardrobe because he would hide sunglasses in his wardrobe and then pull them out in the middle of scenes and put them on, which would ruin the take. And because Aronofsky was like, we need to be able to see your eyes. And he'd be like, no, my guy's hiding, and it's like, but it is this and so left unchecked, you get this.
This is what,
Yeah.
And then you also get this thing where he's wearing that coat, and that coat has become the biggest prop. Like, he's wearing like an overcoat over like a leather coat over like a little underwear shirt, and when he's talking to Megan Fox outside that trailer, he's like just pulling the coat together. It's so cold. It's so cold. He's always so cold. But then other times he's not cold at all. But a lot of work, a lot of
coat work, hat work.
All externals.
Yes.
Mickey Rourke loves externals.
That's why when he's naked, it felt so crazy to me. I was like, I need stuff back on you.
Yeah. More. Put some more chains on.
Please.
It's really interesting because it's like you forget, unless modern Mickey Rourke is really doing a lot of work to erase an incredible early career. Like, he was one of the next generation talents in what you were saying, Paul, that Pope of Greenwich Village era of Mickey Rourke. And he's this electric, compelling, like such a hyperkinetic performer. And now it is so bizarre to watch, frankly. I'm obsessed with him as an actor because so much of what it is now seems like artifice and something that's not quite there. But in the scene where he sells his trumpet to Rory Cochrane, it's a silent scene, just music. He like legitimately broke my heart. When he is plaintively, clearly like not wanting to let go of this instrument. I thought that was an incredible, 20 seconds of performance.
Oh, I was so happy. I was like, yeah, you motherfucker. Like, you don't get the thing you love. Like, I couldn't. Jason, I was so thrilled.
Yeah.
But he keeps the spit valve. Like, he keeps the little, or the mouthpiece.
No, he keeps the mouthpiece.
For the rest of the movie is like sucking on it like it's always in his mouth. Like, just like, just like a toothpick. And he does also have a toothpick in the movie as well. What's happening in the laundromat when he meets his friend who's shoeless?
Oh, yeah.
I thought
Footloose and Fancy Free. And I was like, is that what Footloose and Fancy Free is? That you don't wear shoes? He's rich.
I thought he
got
was
money.
washing his socks.
Okay.
And is this the laundromat where all the jazz musicians go? Is this like the jazz laundry?
Where they gotta do their laundry somewhere.
Jazz Laundry. Jazz Laundry is a small place that I opened.
This is the kind of movie that when there is action, like there's a certain point, Mickey Rourke gets beaten down.
Yeah.
Right? The bad guy's right-hand man gives him a beat down. But we don't watch it. We watch one punch, and then we listen to the rest of it as the camera drifts over and just films a newspaper being blown in the wind.
That is Mickey Rourke being like, it's the Vin Diesel, The Rock thing. It's like,
yes,
you're not going to...
I can't be beaten up.
Yes.
Yep. Because you know Mickey Rourke, until recently, like well into his 60s, was like training and boxing in like boxing matches in Russia. Or something like that. Like he was doing like boxing like internationally, training and like doing heavy boxing matches.
I thought, if I may, that like post all the surgery that ended, but I guess not, huh?
In 2014,
okay,
at the age of 62, 3 years after this movie, he was boxing in Russia and he defeated Elliot Seymour in Moscow.
Wow.
He was going long after this movie.
What a character. What an absolute weird character.
I mean, I guess he started, like, I'm looking at his IMDb. He was boxing at a young age. At 12 years old, he was a flyweight. And then he won the Golden Gloves in 71, the Florida Golden Gloves. And so that was like his start of his career. And he was trained by, oh, this is great, Hell's Angel, Chuck Zito.
Oh, Chuck Zito.
Yeah, and Freddie Roach also trained him. Wow. And that's like the big reason why he has so much plastic surgery is because his face got so fucked up in these fights.
Huh.
Oh, geez. I'm looking. This is really a wild. Like his IMDb is wild.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, but he's still kicking around. Like that's the other thing too. It's like, I think he's still acting as if he was from the 80s. Like he's still got that, like, I'm the hottest guy.
People are still giving him roles that have the gravitas of a star from the 80s.
Yeah,
like this,
it's just...
this movie is he is Jesus Christ in the movie. He's a Christ-like character in this movie.
Except the problem is,
Wow.
he's trying to sell this woman off into prostitution / indentured servitude. Like that's who this movie is about.
Yes.
Dream or no dream. Like if this is his best case scenario, if this is his Jacob's Ladder scenario, it's like, well, how are we supposed to root for this character in any way when that was his plan in no uncertain terms?
Yeah. Well, his plan first actually was to split the profit. 65-35.
Yeah. Right. He wanted in on the deal. And the end game, and I agree that like it looks like she's living a pretty good life with Bill Murray. They're watching movies. She seems not happy, but not, she's well off.
Happier, I think. Actually, no, I still maintain that she was happiest in the Airstream.
I maintain that this is a character that these creators are not interested in investigating or revealing even remotely. She is a muse kind of character. We're not given any access, and nor is anybody curious to her interiority, right? She is just beauty.
Let me pitch this version of it. Happy was married to Megan Fox. He had an affair with her. Happy kills her and then goes to kill Mickey Rourke. And then Mickey Rourke has this dream of like kind of redeeming that. I mean, I guess maybe he's redeeming the death of his
Annie Poole.
But I feel like that's the thing. It's like, because Bill Murray brings her to a museum, or they're having a museum event. What's that museum event? It's an angel theme, but then later on in the movie, like it seems like a day or two later, it's revealed that Bill Murray also has a private club where rich guys go to look at a non-naked Megan Fox, just Venus
oddity.
de Milo just covering her. Yeah, just an oddity. She is again an oddity where Bill Murray sits in the upper balcony
monster.
A true balcony monster.
watching this. I mean, what in the world?
Well, one of my favorite moments of the museum scene is when Bill Murray is being interviewed, because there is some roaming press at the party. And the woman says to him, well, so, and my next question, what's going on with the 2 federal indictments? Tampering with
racketeering, and then she details what they are.
But by the way, this is a thought I had, and I just was looking at Bill Murray, and I was like, do you think this is Bill Murray doing Kevin Spacey? Because there was something about the way that he was acting that reminded me of Kevin Spacey. Like, maybe it was the hair or the glasses.
The hair piece was very
Spacey.
Fake,
yes.
Seeming.
I just looked at that, and then the other thing that jumped out at me was when she's in her trailer, living her good life in that Airstream, she goes to get him like gin. Oh, just 2 people just drinking straight gin.
Disgusting.
Ugh. Warm. He describes it as warm gin.
Disgusting.
And she grabs the bottle, and it's the title on the bottle is Gordon Shumway. And I was like, Gordon Shumway, why did I?
That's Alf.
And that's what and that was Alf's name on Melmac.
Oh.
And I don't know if I don't know if that's a set designer. Kudos to you. Gordon Shumway gin. Oh my God. That was great.
This movie was true nonsense to watch. It doesn't add up. It's one of those movies that because it's now we know a dreamlike piece of like fictional storytelling inside the protagonist's brain, it makes sense that it makes no sense and it feels dreamlike.
But that's a fucking cheat. It makes me angry. It's a cheat. It's like,
but it is. I agree.
Oh,
I agree. When you learn, it makes no sense until the best version of these movies makes sense, and then the reveal makes them make a different kind of sense. This movie makes no sense. Then it kind of makes sense, but makes it worse.
It just kind of says, all your issues, don't worry about them because it didn't make a difference anyway.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, obviously, we had opinions about this movie. There are people out there that had a different opinion, but not many. It is now time for Second Opinions.
The movie was a piece of shit, yet this person recommends it. Tell me, what is the message? Maybe that art is subjective. I need a second opinion.
All right, so a lot of people don't even know this movie existed, and probably because it was...
I didn't.
Yeah, it was only released in 2 theaters. It had its premiere at the Toronto Film Festival.
Wow.
To great consternation. I don't know. Like, people were not happy with this movie. The director apparently re-edited it, and he goes, this is actually the movie I wanted to make. But it still didn't really, it really was.
He re-edited it into this?
Yeah. I mean, yes, this is the thing.
Okay.
And I think that like, some of the reviews include things like it's perversely eccentric and inert, hard to take itself as seriously as the movie does. But there are people out there who liked it. There are 200 reviews, 50% are 5-star reviews, and each one of them feel oddly the same way. They are telling me things, but not showing me the word. Like, you'll see. Craig in 2014 wrote, this film, Passion Play, is different. You could call it something like a film noir if you're into that terminology, but it doesn't just fit into those boxes. It goes beyond them. You have a big gamut of human experience: hopelessness, hope, unfeeling, caring, disrespect for others, heeding others, and what they ask for: love, friendship, fear, bravery, freedom, dependence, escape, capture, happiness, despair. The emotional interdependence of these three main characters, Rourke's desperate musician, Fox's captive birdwoman, and Murray's implacable gangster, makes for an unholy triangle. Plus, to describe them in the ways that they are risk limiting how they portray them through the story.
What?
Plenty to watch, process, and understand. 5 stars. Glued to the screen. So good.
Wow. I mean, to have had that experience watching this, hey, wow.
I am realizing, I just saw that the tagline is "Love is stronger than death." And I'm going back to what you're saying, Paul, about Megan Fox, about Lily Luster standing in. And maybe Lily Luster is Annie Poole. Because the other thing that I wanted to mention is when the Annie Poole story is coming out, Megan Fox is crying.
Well, it's a sad story. He is telling her about how he killed his true love.
I guess, but
I think the question you're trying to ask is, in the movie's logic, is he working out the Annie Poole death regret inside of now his dying? Is he trying to kind of exorcise or redeem his own mind by saving someone, by offsetting that this thing that he thinks he did?
But he also, like, he saves somebody, puts them in danger, saves them again. Like, it's like he's responsible for, I mean, I guess at the end she's free, so it all works out. But I am still, I don't know.
Well, they fly off together to heaven. They appear to fly to heaven together because
that's the resurrection.
yes. So I think they definitely fly off together to heaven, and I guess because knowing that Annie Poole's already dead,
So she's dead too.
that maybe Annie Poole is in this Jacob's Ladder scenario is an angel, and that this whole thing is sort of reconciling his part.
Yeah, he's trying to make something right. You know, I did wrong in my past. Now's my chance to do something right. Finally,
even though I'm
going to
do something
wrong,
is
too late
before I do the right thing.
Many things
doesn't
wrong.
matter. Too late. You died already, and none of these people are real. This is just your mind trying to convince you you're a good person as you die.
Now, John Knight also gave it 5 stars. Also in 2014 says, an impressive list of movie heavyweights carry through a singular tale that could or could not be real. The movie moves through the underbelly of America and a broad span of the human condition.
Is it America?
Yeah, I mean, and emotions. Nice music with a brief appearance by U.S. legends Salman Burke and tunes from legendary Alan Toussaint and Aaron Neville. Clip joints, indigenous Americans, freaks, cheap motels, big horizons, and long roads. Shining night skies wrap around the story of desire, jealousy, owning, sharing, tricking, and taking one's chance. Gangsters, classy dames, tortured artists, all weave into the careful tracing of feelings and life's challenges. An impressive list of movie heavyweights. 5 stars. I mean, that people are reading a lot into it. Meanwhile, Alejandro just says, I like this movie a lot because it has drama and action. It's a great movie to watch. It has good stars too. 5 stars. I recommend this to a friend to buy. They're going to like it too.
Hey, if you've got at least 2 Murray brothers in your movie, I'm going to 5 stars it.
And Brian Domer is great. He's always great.
Got back on Friday. It is Friday.
Yeah. In a completely black space. They're not in a location. They're not on a set. It is a black void.
They have a soundstage. This movie had a soundstage with a green screen. They shot a majority of the stuff. This is a low budge thing all across. I mean, wow. And as Mickey Rourke said about this film, it's a terrible movie, but you know, in your career and all the movies you make, you're going to make a dozen of terrible ones. It's going to get not wide release because it's not very good. And this was made by his good friend of 15 years. So really,
it really is. I can't, if you are listening to this and you haven't watched the movie, and I'm not saying watch the movie. I mean, go ahead and watch the movie. It's absolutely bananas. But check it out a little bit, because I mean it when I say this movie feels like it's from a different time.
Yeah.
It feels like an indie movie from the 90s or even
Yes.
the 80s at times.
It felt to me like a, and I don't mean this in the sexual way, but like a Cinemax movie where it's like, it really is just like Red Shoe Diaries-esque. It's very slow. It's like we're just watching a person walk down a street for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I had in my calendar Passion Play and then in parentheses 2010. And so I kept on, as I'm watching the movie, I kept on freaking out. Like, if this can't be right. This was the movie I'm looking for was made in 2010. This couldn't possibly be it.
I felt the same, June, so much so that I looked it up to see, was it shot in the 90s,
Released.
shelved, and it was only released in 2000? Like, it made so little sense to me. Paul, like, will you tell us what are, like, movies that came out in 2010?
That's a great question. All right, so 2010.
Yeah, like Barbie? What? I mean...
Avatar?
The big movies of 2010, and looking at it right here, are, let's see, 127 Hours, Inception, The Town.
This came out the same year as Inception.
This is, The Other Guys, MacGruber, Get Him to the Greek, Hot Tub Time Machine, Cyrus. It's like, this is...
These movies all feel like modern movies, contemporary movies, even though they're now 15 years old or whatever. But nonetheless, the movie we watched feels like it's 30 years old.
Yeah, The Social Network. I mean, to even think that this movie came out in the time when there was Facebook is crazy. Scott Pilgrim and versus the World, Kick-Ass.
Well, that's the thing is,
Black Swan.
nobody has a phone in this movie. Nobody has a cell phone in this movie. There's no computers. There's no technology.
One of the things that everybody says, like all the people involved, Mickey Rourke and the director and writer, like they had no idea who Megan Fox was. Nobody had seen Transformers. No one even knew that she was an actress. So it does seem like they were kind of out of it, and it does feel like this movie was written as a 50s movie about like a detective and a dame, and they think they've kind of they didn't change much.
I see. Okay, that makes more sense then. It was a period piece.
Well, here's what I would argue: if you're going to change it from a period piece, you gotta go through that whole script and just kind of update all the scenes.
Wow.
I mean, so I guess the question is, would you recommend watching it? And I'm kind of with you in saying like it is worth watching it because it is uniquely different than anything that I've seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's so weird.
Again, for me, it all was worth it to see her swoop in, fly in, and pick up Mickey Rourke. I truly...
And that's the end. Those are the last images,
and I
really.
was so delighted by that. I was so taken with it. I thought it was so hilarious. And I thought it was so humiliating for him that it for me, because I found this entire movie and Megan Fox being 23 and Mickey Rourke being 200 years old, like to be so...
Wait, how old did you say he was?
I believe it was 54 to 23 or 57 to 23.
Okay, I just want to be clear. Mickey Rourke in this movie is 57. I am currently 52. I just that to me, I'm saying that and it's funny, but I will hang up this Zoom meeting soon and I will have a crisis.
No, because Jason, first of all, I don't know that I have to be honest. I don't know if I believe he's 57 in this movie. Like, I just don't know.
I think he's lived
very hard, and I think he might have shaved like a decade off of his age. But I had so much trouble with this movie. I was so deeply, deeply disturbed by what I was watching between the two of them that seeing her fly with him like that, I needed it, and it put me at ease. Obviously, I simply didn't understand the ending, and I thought, oh well, that's strange that the henchman's still there, but a couple days later his body doesn't seem to have been picked over by vultures or anything, but okay.
Here's what I will say about that flyover scene. At the end, it is like she picks him up, she's flying, And I think we're supposed to be transported to this amazing world where you're like, now they're in the clouds. It's her dream. She's always wanted to fly. She's never been able to fly. And the landscape is so ugly. It's desert, but it's not daylight. It's like dusk in the desert, so it's dark. Like nothing pops. It looks like it's like, oh, if I was a bird, it's not that good.
Sounds like a dusk in the desert could be beautiful, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. There's nothing cinematic in the movie. No. You know,
yeah.
Oh heavens, no.
But it really is like the movie was really interested in telling a good story. As they're flying over Mickey Rourke's dead body in the desert, she's got him hooked under his armpits, flying him around, and he sees it and he's like, oh, now I get it. I wish she had dropped him at that moment. Dropped him into his body, and then we follow her as she flies away to a better life. Like, she should be. I don't want to know the end of Mickey Rourke's story. I'm rooting for Megan Fox to get away from everybody in this movie.
She should have dropped him and gone to heaven herself. But also I'm like, so the first moment that she's free, I know it's in his head, but the first moment she's free, she's now dead too? Good ending? I mean, that's sad to me. She's finally free and dead.
Well, she's dead because she doesn't exist.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not dead. She's just a figment of his imagination.
So when he dies, it's lights out really for everyone, but mainly for her.
I am utterly stunned. And every now and then it's a jaw dropper.
Well, it's interesting because when you see the end of the movie, you realize why it's so bad. It's because the person who's written the terrible movie you just watched was the Mickey Rourke character.
Yes.
Oh,
boy. All right. Well, I guess we've decided it's worth it for the final scene, which I'm sure you could watch online. Wow.
Yeah, it reminded me of what was the Ryan O'Neal movie we watched where he does he tells like a monologue in the ocean or something like that. It has that kind of an amateur's an amateur vibe, you know?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's honestly an amateur vibe, but with big stars. So it's like
some of whom are doing great work.
And so it is something to see. And I will say I was absolutely stunned that I'd never heard of this, didn't know anything about that. I mean, it's really, there's a lot of work to be done.
I'm going to keep on saying it. It's a dad core movie. It's like a dad going like, I could do this. I got this. I'm a fan of movies. I'm going to write. Like, Dad, you're retired. It's like, I'm writing a movie. I'm going to write a movie about a beautiful angel, jazz, all the things that dads like. Yeah, jazz. He finds a carnival. They drink hot gin.
He rescues an angel.
Woman loves me and kisses me up all over my body. I fuck her wings off. I save her from the plastic surgeon. It's such.
She's 23. I'm an old rump roast.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I mean, I think we've done it. And wow. Avril picked another banger.
Incredible.
Another banger.
And like June, I'd never heard of it.
I never heard of it. And I really want to who I want to look up is that woman with the tattoos. I'm so taken with those tattoos.
Oh yeah, her tattoos were that's a visual. So that to me was visually interesting. I was like, oh, this person, there's the world of tattoo lady, junkie jazz musician, scuzzy kind of motel life. I'm like, okay, what's this movie? But it's only told in that 30 seconds of the film, you know?
That's what I'm saying. It feels like it's of a movie of a different time.
What's very funny is that we're saying it feels like it's from a different time. And I'm sure there are people being like, yeah, 15 years ago.
I know. That is
a different time. Yeah. And with that, we bid you adieu. All right, Jason, do you have anything you want to promote, tell anybody about?
Oh, we're going on tour in...
That's right. Oh, yeah, great.
So let's definitely talk about that.
End of March, early April, we're going to be in Los Angeles. We're going to be in Austin. We're going to be in Boise, the Tree Fort Music Festival. Here's the thing. You can buy a ticket individually. You don't have to just buy a ticket to the music festival. So there's two ways you can go. If you have a ticket for the festival, great. If you don't, you could buy a ticket separately. And then, Jason, where are we going after that? Do you remember from last night? San Francisco.
Sorry, it is Austin. It's Austin, Denver, Boise, Seattle, San Francisco, Portland.
Yes.
And then LA is now in the beginning, not the end. So I guess technically it's LA, Austin, Denver, Boise, Seattle, San Francisco, Portland.
And then you go to hdtgm.com to get your tickets and information. We'll release the movies shortly. The movies for LA are released because we move those shows. All right, so come check us out on the road.
Yes, I'm getting very excited about it.
Me too.
I cannot wait.
Cannot wait. They've been clamoring for us in Boise, and baby, we're coming to town.
And I got to tell you, Denver, we've owed you a show for a very long time, and they showed up immediately. Day one, it was like we're almost sold out because
that's
of
cool.
Denver.
Cannot wait.
Also, make sure you check out Dark Web, a brand new series starring Rob Hubel and me every week. Go to watchthedarkweb.com. It is a super fun show where we dig deep into the internet and find weird things like Sizzler commercials and urine looping and paintball self-defense. We put it all together in a free little package for you on YouTube every single week. So check out watchthedarkweb.com and then you'll get to the YouTube page and all that good stuff. Also, Jason is on Invincible. That's right. Invincible is back on Amazon Prime. It is so good. He is fantastic in it. You're not going to want to miss it at all. People, do you like comedy? Are you going to be in the LA area? Well, guess what? On February 27th, Largo is going to be hosting Dinosaur. Jason and I will be there. Maybe even Jack McBrayer. Maybe even Rob Riggle. It is a cavalcade of who's who of some of the funniest people. I love doing that show. So come check us out this month at Largo. A big thank you to our producer, Cody Fisher, Molly Reynolds. A big goodbye to one of our producers, Matt Apodaca, who was with us for a short period of time, but we wish him so well. I mean, and we mean that from the bottom of our heart, not in a negative, like, oh, we wish him well. Good luck, kid. No, we love Matt. He is off to another company and he is going to kill it. Also, a big, giant thank you to Avril Halley, our movie picking producer. She found a gem in this one. You can follow her online at Movie Bitches. You can check out all of the How Did This Get Made merch at tpublic.com/stores/HDTGM. People, the most important part now is you. If you have something that you want to share, something that you feel like we might have missed in Passion Play, something that we didn't know, give us a call at 619-PAULASK, 619-PAUL-ASK to leave a comment or a question. You can also just leave it on our Discord at discord.gg/HDTGM. And next week, we will turn the spotlight on you. And I can only imagine what you're going to have to say about this show. All right, that brings us to the end of the episode. Bye for now. See you next week.
How did this get made?